Hey, welcome back to the Cheap Air Gunner channel. I'm Cherokee Steve. A couple of things to report on that have happened recently is, number one, last night after I got home from work, I went about making a little pegboard gun rack for my Crosman carbines. Worked out really nice, very easy. Had some leftover chain that I used for hanging it from this sign. Couple of hooks at the top of the pegboard, couple of hooks into my floor rafters, floor beams, and screwed those in, hung the chain from that, connected to the hooks at the top of the pegboard, and it just went very easily. I used a combination of slanted pegboard attachments. So these here, which go in, use this for the more of the stock end, and then a hook type. The top two, the 2289 and the KT CO2, are using this through the trigger area to hang from because of the length of the barrel on the KT HPA. This needed to go further forward, so it's hanging around close to where the air tank is. Anyway, it worked out really nice. Had another Crosman decal available, so that went down in the corner. Just an easy project. Did not take long, and I think it looks really good. A lot better than just leaving them either in a rifle case, which I have, or laying around on the couch down here in the basement. I thought that looked really good. The other development was I had already made a video where I did a lot of complaining about my chronograph, my Caldwell, and absolutely having way too many error readings. And I really thought it had to do with the lighting. Insufficient directly above the sensor, to be specific. Insufficient lighting. Well, what I'm doing is using a combination of two different handheld flashlights, not pressure sensitive lights is what I should say. The Harbor Freight ones, and a couple, and another type that I picked up, actually at Walgreens. They're pressure sensitive, the ones from Walgreens. You push on it, comes on, push on it again, it goes off. But instead of having to replace the batteries so often in the Harbor Freight ones, I believe this additional light is going to help right above the sensor. I could probably get by using the Harbor Freight ones with lower battery charge for a longer period of time, and I'm not getting error readings. I just shot a string using the KT HPA. And for the first time, I believe, in quite a while anyway, I actually got a reading on a full fill. And I alternated with the pellets I was using. First shot I took was with the H&N Excite pellets. The next shot was with the Falcon. So I went from a 14.66 grain pellet to a 13.43 grain pellet. And I kept shooting, alternating like that. And what I did was record the velocities, and I told myself I would stop shooting a particular pellet once it registered a velocity under 800 feet per second. But the first shot that I took, again, this was with the Excite pellet, 14.66 grain, was 821 feet per second. The second shot I took with the Falcon, this was with the Falcon 13.43 grain pellet, was 836 feet per second. Third shot, again, back to the Excite pellet, was 811. Fourth shot, back to the Falcon, was 821. Fifth shot with the Excite pellet was 801. I really didn't expect to get another shot over 800 feet per second with it, but went ahead and shot a Falcon pellet, and got 809 feet per second. The seventh shot, again with the Excite pellet, was 795 feet per second. The eighth shot, going back to the Falcon, jumped up from the previous shot that I took with the Falcon pellet. This particular one shot 816 feet per second when the previous one had shot 809. So maybe something difference in just, you know, the same pellet out of the same tin, the same make of pellet, can still vary one from the other. I might have had a looser fit with that last pellet. Any number of reasons that it could have been higher. But I went ahead, since that was over 800 feet per second. Now this I thought was interesting. I didn't shoot an Excite pellet since I had a shot under 800 feet per second. I shot another Falcon pellet, and this one shot 798 feet per second. So it went from 816 down to 798. Now the one thing I noticed was all these shots were taken from a full fill 15 MPa pressure in the KT HPA. The last shot I took lowered the pressure down to just a hair over 12 MPa on the pressure gauge. So 9 shots. I'm including the one shot from each pellet that eventually did shoot under 800 feet per second, but that is a total of 9 shots from 15 MPa down to 12 MPa. Now, I think if I was in a hunting situation, if I was just extremely lucky, I would have no problem continuing to shoot with confidence of the power of the gun, probably down to, I want to say, 10 MPa. So, accuracy-wise, very pleased. Pay no attention to the shots above this circle. These nice round ones, all of these were wad cutters, not shot in this particular shooting session. But I was aiming down here at the bottom, center of the target, where the black meets the beige. So it was shooting high, but the grouping, with the exception of, I don't know if this is 1 or 2 pellets, everything else was pretty much this one ragged hole. So at 10 meters, this is what I got, using that combination of Excite and Falcon pellets. They both shoot very well out of this particular gun. I do want to say what a great bargain those Excite pellets are. They're made by H&N, quality company, decent weight, very comparable to the Crosman Premiers, and extremely accurate. You get a tin of 250 for $5.99. That's at Midway USA. That's where I bought my tin. And if you've noticed, 22 caliber pellets seem to be really difficult to locate in stock. These, I just checked, are still in stock at Midway USA. So it's definitely a pellet I would recommend. Or target shooting for plinking, you want something in a good quantity on hand that isn't going to cost you a lot. And at this point, you do have to factor in whether or not it's in stock. I definitely recommend those Excite pellets. The other development, earlier today, out at the mailbox, I received a package. Look, already came. Got this, it seems to be the norm, about 2 weeks time when I order something from this particular seller on eBay in China. It takes about 2 weeks to get to me consistently. The brass breech for the KT HPA. Oh my gosh, what a difference in weight this is. Here's the original plastic one I had and the brass one. Now obviously I am going to have to cut this down to a similar length to avoid sitting on any raised areas. I'm going to take my time with this. I really don't want to fudge this up. It's, you know, as far as making a nice cut on this and utilizing as much, leaving as much of the dovetail area as I can. Probably have to make an angle cut like that, as I did on the plastic one. But I really am hoping that just the sheer weight of this and the much more secure clamping that I should get from the front breech screw, not having to worry, hopefully not having to worry about brass cracking out, but getting a nice secure clamp from that front breech screw, and that coupled with the weight, getting a much better seal between the breech and the transfer port. That's what I'm hoping for. Maybe a slight increase in velocities. We'll see. But I really, like I said, want to take my time as far as cutting this, making it a nice, even, good-looking cut. I may etch prime this and paint it black, at least in some areas. I'm not too sure about how I feel about the brass look on that particular gun. So take my time, make decisions slowly along the way. The plastic breech does seem to be holding up. I'm really glad that I had thought of using that cupped washer as a alternative to the cracked, well, it wasn't an alternative, it was unusable with that cracked out hole where the front breech screw goes. But that seems to be, like I said, shooting fine, getting good velocity readings. So that allows me to take my time with the brass breech. But I am happy that it showed up. One of the things I think that got lost in translation was I did request, when I ordered this on eBay, I asked for, if they had some, if they could send some with the breech, some additional front breech screws. Even one I would have been happy with. But what I ended up getting, they did send separate bag, rubber band around the breech. There was a bag with 2 screws. Unfortunately, they were these screws, the barrel clamping screws, not the front breech screw. So I think something got lost there in translation, and they misunderstood what it was I was hoping to get, which was the screw that goes right there. But no big deal. Abe, a subscriber, filled me in on the fact that it's an M3 screw, so I should be able to find something if I need extras. Like I said, the one that is being used right now in the KT HPA is in good shape, not stripped out at all. It was an extra one that came with a pack of extra parts with the kit, with the HPA kit. So, pegboard update. Velocity and accuracy update with the KT HPA, and a brass breech update for the KT HPA. Oh, and I did get the barrel cleaned out on the KT HPA. Any additional things that happen, I will be sure to post up a video. Guys, thanks for checking this one out. I really appreciate it. Stay safe and shoot safe.